Game number 1 in the books. Game number 2 just about to get started. This time around playing, allowing for a, I guess you can say a little easier transition to the eastern side of the map. And well, hopefully that will mean that we won't get that many confrontations on early. We do see only 2 teams out so far. Only Swarm and Temp Name have made their jumps so far. Once again, Medium Makers not opted to go military. They'll go back down towards their Atlantis split or Watertown, whichever name you prefer. I think that's pretty much the only area that has multiple names. I mean, okay, the only city-ish area that has multiple names. That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Because everything else, I mean, even if it doesn't have a name, it kind of has a name already. Lumber Mill is Lumber Mill. Multipower is Multipower. Small Power. All those things. I guess those have multiple names too. In any case, everyone's out of the plane, and I guess that's what we were trying to get to that point. Out of war, they've made their way down to Pochinki, and this time around, it seems like it's a little bit more of a even split in the sense of teams not really crashing on top of each other. As I say that, though, there are 2 teams jumping into Milta on top of each other, pretty much. We have Riddle jumping down there. Riddle, they were all the way up northwest in the last game. And, well, I mean, this time around, they've made their way over to what they normally land in Milta, but they have got a team joining them. And we're not really zoomed in right now, so I can't see exactly who it is, but they for sure have a team contesting Milta alongside them. What we do see here, though, is Swamp. They have all of North George to themselves, so no big issues there. They got George, they got Sargi, and they should have themselves an easy time to get looted. But down here, once again, same team as they were fighting last game. They're going up against Cerebro. That's a pretty interesting turn of events. They both go north last game. I was like, oh, well, nope. Let's go the other way. And then they both go down there too. So clearly 2 teams with similar strategies. And well, I mean, last time around, Cerebro came out on top. Only of these 2, they still went out in the 11th place. But of these 2 teams, they came out with the better part of it. We'll see now if Riddle being in the home turf can do something to change that this time around. Temporary name, they had a tough going last game. These and Silas went down somewhat early on, and somehow Yannick and Nemrith, considering how much room they had, and despite that, them just being inside the shack, they never really had to fight anyone until the final couple of circles. They had some smart moves, made some good plays, and they managed to get themselves a 2nd place in that game. So impressive. Only I believe only 4 kills in total with that, but only 4 kills in total, but still impressive plays coming out from Yannick and Nemrith there. But now we are back down here, back south, and I mean, sure, technically you can split Milta, but I do not hope nor think that this is something that we'll see going on for too long, because this is not the most optimal split I've ever witnessed. I think that's pretty safe to say. Not the best way to split things, the way they're doing it right here. Sure, I mean, with half of them being east, half of them being west, that makes perfect sense. But it's just a very small town to share, and that might mean you not getting the meds you need, you not getting the amount of bullets you would have wanted. And also, I mean, the fight for vehicle spawns. There are only so many spawns in this area. And sure, you can go out west if you're Riddle and take some cars there, but there are multiple other teams in that direction you have to fight as well. So not exactly the most optimal situation, but at least for now, they've kinda made it work. You see, I believe it's Personal Courage with the yellow logos out there in the back. They are in the mix as well. And you can see it right here. I mean, IPG, he has himself, what, 4? No, it's like 10 bandages and 1 first aid. That is not something you want to start rotating with. You want to have at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 first aids, I would say, to in your backpack when you start rotating. Not 1. I mean, sure, if you fight a team, you can take it off of them, but take some shots towards you, and that's gonna limit your opportunities to really do anything to re-engage if you're just sitting around with bandages in a corner. It will not help you enough, let's put it at that. Persis, they had a rough time last game, but seems like this time around they're the ones who will be able to throw some shots towards their opponents. Sirong driving all by himself, and Saga and Karagas, they, well, I mean, unfortunately for them, they didn't really get to apply the pressure they wanted. And seems to me like Sirong does manage to get out unharmed. Rotates over towards his teammates. Kind of interesting considering that the circle went west, that he's driving east. But I guess there's a strategy to that. Maybe going over to pick up a teammate. That could actually be kind of interesting, because considering that he didn't get shot at from here, if he just went back east to pick up a teammate, that could be them driving back to this doing the exact same pathing, because he didn't get shot at from here, and then they could run into shots when they came on back. Mikhailovic and LXG, right? Yeah, LXG. I was like, what is their name again? LXG. They won the previous game, had a good performance there. 8 kills to it as well. So good start of the 12th game tournament here. Cobham, under fire, forced into this shack, and Yannick is turning around now. Not wanting to engage on the Cobham somehow. He smashed his vehicle into the shack, but continued driving forward and does manage to get over to Amorous. Fortunate. Amorous went down in the water. Last game wasn't able to reconnect. So the fact that they get to stay 4 guys up this time around is pretty fortunate. Aurora didn't have a whole lot of saying last game either. But now they've positioned themselves down by Potato Mountain to see if they can get themselves some rotation kills. Actually, a pretty smart position to sit in here. Maybe not the exact spot that Levent was in, but the area to try and put up a blockade up here. Like, this is one of the most common rotation paths. And if you expect teams to start rotating through here, and it's early in the tournament and teams won't really know what you're doing, this could be a really good spot to be in. Andy jumping out of the vehicle could probably have kept going, but of course with shots fired right around him, didn't wanna have the chance to be taken down. His team has already left, and now nades are coming in as well. This could be the second game that Art of War lose Andy. And well, not early on, because it's not really on him. They were just already rotating together, and extremely unfortunate timing for him to be just exactly inside of vision of Rupsi, I believe it was, when he was starting to drive off. But with him not being dead just yet, hopefully he'll be able to get out of that one. Tresh and Aurora, they were the ones to apply pressure before, but now they are indeed the ones under fire. Arthur, shots connected. Dolby as well will be joining forces. Oh, actually, this is Alpha joining forces, and I thought Shishu ran over his teammate there, but didn't really matter in the end. Swan won't be able to get rest. Oh no, that's not where you want to spin out at all. Vehicle blown up, and Arthur somehow gets a headshot through there. That's pretty impressive. Pretty darn impressive. Despite the vehicle blowing up and everything, he does still manage to get the headshot in. Rest might be coming. You saw Tresh making his way on back towards him. So it could be a risk coming in, but it's going to be a tricky position to get him back up on, that's for sure. We see them making the push on down now. Arthur in the open, running down with so many shots fired towards Shisho. They're just saying, you know what, it's too risky. Aurora will be down to just 2 players early on here, I'm afraid. Not a whole lot more they can do. And once again, Ghost Legion, this is what they did so well last week as well. They were able to position themselves, take off rotations, and that's kind of the best. That's the best kind of killing you can really do in the early game here, because it doesn't cost you anything as long as the vehicles, of course, keep on driving. There's not really a penalty for you in trying to take shots at them. You have so much ammo anyway when they for where they looted, so no pressure applied whatsoever for or towards Ghost Legion when they take these shots, and they just got 2 free points off of it. No casualties taken. Now they did lose a US, and you can see Meet Your Makers, they're tabbing over towards them from the yellow houses, but there's plenty of room to roam around. Only issue for them is I don't believe they're actually inside the circle yet. They have to continue moving on forward, and if they are inside the circle, they got to be just on the eastern edge of it. Okay, they are inside the circle, but are still on the edge. Andy, knocked by his teammate, will get rest, I would hope. That's a second knock coming in for him now. Oh, no, actually only the first one. Only the first knock, because he didn't get knocked up top before. But he did manage to get away from there. That was fortunate. Did manage to get away, but now getting knocked by his teammate is, of course, not very optimal. Rotations coming in. We saw the circle go a little further west out towards the swarm and field area. So, expecting a lot of rotations coming in now. Celebro, 2 guys rotating together on the bike there. Phosphor and Higgy from Personal Courage making their path in over towards the west. Well, through the big open field they go. Unfortunately, Andy ain't connecting these ones. Went for it, tried to, but not connecting the. Well, I mean, the seemingly Reddit-worthy shot had it been there. Would have been amazing, but not hitting it this time around. O'Connell driving up close to opponents. T-Bone already taken down. That's dangerous. So T-Bone tried to commit to the house, and now more fire, more shots being fired in their direction. Nisero taken down. Taken down. And, well, I mean, once again, with everyone having kind of done their rotations already, things are starting to calm down a bit. Black finished off by his teammates. That's unfortunate. I'm not sure exactly how it all went down, but I think he got himself knocked in the field, and his teammates just well, took him out. Unfortunate, but it happens nonetheless every now and again. Quizzy rotating on forward. Again, the team that won the previous game. This time around, they're sitting far up on the northern side of the circle, so they'll just be hanging about here for a little while they're waiting for that next circle to pop in just about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Kofest had himself a long transition early game last game from the military island, and well, I mean, now they're starting to apply some pressure down towards Persis. Persis was the only team, I believe, actually, only team last game to finish with 0 points. So so they will, of course, see if they can get something going here, but they're in a position right now where if they don't have bikes that they can bring inside the compounds, it's very difficult to keep those wheels up on your vehicles if their opponents all around. Ronnie Quay, that's a headshot coming in from Moon. Shot to the face, helmet gone, and not a whole lot more to it. Ronnie still tapping away down towards the Persis team, and our Aurora now with the vehicle swap, I guess you can say, trying to see if they can make their way further forward. Shots are maybe gonna be fine. Oh, that's a headshot. Always interesting when the first tap that comes in is a headshot. Like, are you kidding me? Hits a headshot and then misses the remaining bullets. That's normally how it goes. You can land a few body shots, but if you hit a headshot, you normally don't hit the next ones. Ronnie Cray and 4AK, they were under a lot of fire before. We saw one go down as well, and now they're actually somewhat close to an enemy team. And once again, Cerebro. Moon with the headshot on towards Ronnie. What a hell of a tap through the window of the car right there. There's no answer to that one. Not a whole lot you can do, and they're committed on it. They got the knock. He had the chest shot on the next player, and that is the power of the M24. Now PEL and Moon, they're pushing over the top. Ronnie accidentally nades his teammate, and that is going to be all of 4 angry kids completely wiped within seconds. That knock was all it took for them to engage. And we actually had a debate about that earlier today. Can you, with an M24 now, knock people in with chest shots without a vest on? I think you can with the boost. You can now knock people with chest shots if they don't have a vest on. I mean, sure, they had a vest on here, but still, with the recent buff to the bolt action snipers, that is now possible. So should you be late game and not have a vest, then you can one-tap people, I believe, in the upper chest with an M24. Just a little heads up to anyone wanting to practice their sniping skills. Abo rotating on forward alongside the other guys from Oztech. Media Makers will be doing the exact same thing. As we saw the circle go further west, the Media Makers team will be trying to rotate all the way over north and see if they can get themselves into a better spot. Temporary name, Gusties. Ooh, trying to see if he can spot some heads here. He heard the vehicles. He saw some heads over on the swarm side of things. And now Persis starting an engagement with Art of War. Both Tona and BenQ down. Memo taken down as well. So far 3 for 0. Impressive plays, I think, coming out from Persis because we cannot see what they're doing. But that is 3 players down. And Andy now last player alive on his team. So despite him being the one under fire earlier, he's now the solo player remaining for Art of War, trying to stay put here. I believe Art of War went out in 12th place last game, so of course they want to get things going here in the final game. I was gonna say there's still 2 more games to be played afterwards, but of course they want to get off to a good start in the final stage, I guess you can say, before the next phase of contenders. Party making his rotation on up. Venconas, they're making a race against the circle as well. Yellow and his teammates from Ghost Legion, they're making their way in towards Quarry. Not a place we like to see end games, but a place that they deliver interesting end games. Let's put it at that. Quarry delivers interesting end games, but not exactly the best end games, at least not in my opinion. It's very subjective, of course, where you like to have end games unfold. Meteor Makers, they've been rotating for a long time, and they've been rotating through a bit too many teams, and Andy now trying to get in late. He runs straight into the submarine that works not only in water but also on land, and he gets himself a finish off, and Art of War goes down in 15th place. Meteor Makers, they've pretty much rotated. Oh, it's like over 100%, over 180. So that's going to be like 200% circle rotation, because they came from the southeast, rotated all the way, and out there far out on the western side. That's a pretty long rotation for Meteor Makers. But, well, I mean, they're alive. Sure they lost the guy on it, but that's a very long rotation. And now they're here. Oh, that's 3 guys in 1 vehicle, I believe there. It's already smoking. Just gotta connect a few more bullets. Somehow Vincona's still alive despite that. They've only 2 guys in the vehicle, but still dark smoke coming out of it, and that could have been a double kill had the Cerebro team landed just a few more bullets. So fortunately for Amorous and Corp, they live to see another circle push, which will happen in just about 20 seconds. And Nate's now coming in from Personal Courage. Those could go really close to Saga. Oh, just off up to the side a little bit there. Houston, Phosphorus. They have the angle, they know they're up the hill. We can't really see the terrain probably with this view right here, but it is a downhill slant towards the Personal Courage team. And now Saga taken down early. Caracas with a good retaliation, but goes down immediately after. Phosphorus has the ankle, and it seems to me like Pullman and the last remaining player there in Fischl, they're not really in a position to help a whole lot. Nate's now coming in, blocked off by the tree, fortunately, but Pullman and Fischl, they need to do something. And Fischl goes down, and this could be a 4-for-0 trade-off. Should they be able to pull this one off? Pullman in the blue now by himself. Needs to do something. Saka finished off by the blue there as well. Houston does go down. Okay, so they lose 1 guy in the trade-off. They do manage to get themselves 1 point off of it, but we talked about before Persis as well. They had a rough game there. Now they did manage to get something going against Art of War, but this just became a bit too much for them to handle. A little bit too much. A little bit too much. Simpson against Meteor Makers. Flurry getting finished off. And Intense now against Vinconas. I mean, multiple teams fighting all over the place here. And Fischl gets taken down as well. And Pullman in the blue just trying to tank his way through this one. But there's a long way to 8 teams remaining if you're trying to tank your way to a placement spot in this game, that's for sure. Intense and Roopsy, they're getting in on the action now as well. And once again, we had 13, make that I believe 14 kills last game coming in from Meteor Makers. And they're trying to get up in those numbers again. And of course, why not start early if you have the chance to? Amorous with the finish off on Denethor's knock. So that's going to be Vinconas taking out with 1 more player. Moon gets finished off too, and we see multiple fights now occurring all over the map. Arsenal taken down by Golby, and look at the push coming up here. 2 Cerebro players could be making that push on in towards huge potential. Oh, they spot them out though. Zerong immediately looks down as soon as they peek on over. He's ready for it. He was anticipating it. And no big surprises coming in towards him there whatsoever. Appeal trying to tap long range and away. You can see Meteor Makers then. Somewhat of a rough spot over there. I believe there are only 2 players remaining as well. Really tough spot to be in. Mini under a lot of fire. Ghost Legion trying to contain him in this swarm area. There's not a whole lot of cover for him to get to. But fortunately right now at least Alpha is missing a few bullets, and that's keeping him alive. At least for a little while longer. But 39 alive, 10 seconds until we see that new circle pop, and this is going to be an interesting one, because no matter where it goes, it's going to be rough for at least 2 or 3 teams, because so many people are on the edge, and the southeastern one would be the absolutely worst one for the majority of these teams. And, well, I mean, it goes east, but still somewhat center, so Yannick and Temporary Name, they get to sit around a little while longer with a good position. Appeal, 1 more kill. That's 6 kills for huge potentials already. Oh, Persis taking down Pullman just on the edge of the blue. Dees found him there. Found him just on the edge of the blue there. He was trying to heal it in as he made his way on forward, but Dees said nope. Nope, you ain't entering this circle, not this time around. So they'll go out in 14th place. They got some kills. They got some kills this game, but not a whole lot more to it than that. And Meet Jamaica's, despite the fact that they got a lot of kills previous game and a good placement, they are not able to accumulate a whole lot more this time around. Out in 13th place, they go. Misa landing a few shots down towards Quizzy, and now he's starting to take shots towards him too. Silas down from inside the compound just east of them, applying the pressure, telling them, do not peek over this hilltop. I know you're fighting other teams, so you might just want to focus on them before you go down towards us. Quizzy, that nade is right on the money, and there's absolutely nothing you could do to counter that one. Gets the finish off as well. Well thrown nades by Misa and Arrows, pinpointing his position and throwing the nades right on the money. Sirong getting himself knocked. That's unfortunate. Appeal going down as well. How do you knock yourself? Okay, they moved down. I was going to say, how do you knock yourself on quarry? But they were trying to move down, probably got knocked on a vehicle. And now both of them are taken out. So I believe just one player remaining for their team. And Copham is by himself as well. So a lot of solo players remaining in the game so far. Ghost Legion, they have Swarm. They're trying to control it. They know more people are around here. Saw that nade being thrown in there as well. Smoke grenade that was being thrown in. Outlaw taken out in the end. Clip secured himself that finish up, but look at their positioning. They're just staying over here. They don't want to over-aggress. They're just waiting for the Riddle team to make that push on forward. We have one, make that two Architect players, I believe, trying to hold off the remaining four players from Riddle as they have to make the push on over. Detonator goes down. That's huge potential. They got themselves 7 kills, but they did go out in 12th place, so no placement points for them. Aurora now as well, spotting people over the top. That's going to be Riddle once again spotted out. Multiple teams getting a view on towards them now as they make their rotation across the road. Riddle already taking one casualty. That's Clip going down. You can see right, he's just proning up there. They don't know where he's at. They don't know where he is, and he gets the triple with the nade. Wow. Solo player remaining. And Apo, just from a prone position, says, guys, take one nade. That's one knock. Oh, you want one more? There you go. Get yourself a double. And he just secured not only 3 kills, but also at least 1 placement point. What a hell of a solo performance coming in from Apo. And he probably heard yellow up here as well. You can see he's looking in this direction. He's holding the ankle. He's waiting for them to peek over, but he goes down in return. Great effort coming in from Apo there, but unfortunately, Architect do go down in 8th place. But what a hell of a well-positioned couple of nades through there to take out the entirety, pretty much, of the Riddle team. Good job by Apo. Arrows, Wizards, they're making their move on forward. Things have kind of quieted down once again. We're only 19 alive, and if not everyone, I believe everyone pretty much, except for Ghost Legion down south there, pretty much everyone is, if not inside the circle already, then somewhere close to it. But you can see the positions for Ghost Legion. They might be under cover from temporary name, but they will be visible to the 2 remaining players down here, and that's going to be Party and IPG, making their way over towards Arthur. For those of you guys that aren't CIS natives, seeing APTYP, I've been told by CIS people that APTYP is Arthur and the P is an R. So if you're wondering why I'm saying Arthur, that's because that's his name. IPG taken down yellow, got the knock, and he falls back immediately under a lot of fire. So he goes back up to heal, makes perfect sense. And now Party sitting by himself on the other side. Not a whole lot he can do from that shack, and he's out in the blue as well. How do you play this one? Do you try to make a hero play, or do you just go suicide to deny the points? Tries to make the run off. I like the effort. I like the effort. And he got so far, but there was a little while more to go, unfortunately for him. 7th place, still in the placement points they get for Cerebro, but didn't really get the amount of kills with them that they probably would have wanted here. 3lith. So I'm trying to peek on over. They know that Wizards are up there somewhere, but Aurora, they're in a rough spot. Levent and 3lith, they there isn't a whole lot they can do from down here, to be quite honest. They could try to make the push on over the top, but that's going to be them being completely exposed to Nemerith and his team. Temporary name, that is. So not a whole lot of places they can go. They can try and explode their vehicle down there and then try to see if they can make the run up from there. We see Silas, he's been taking shots down towards Wizards earlier, so he knows they're down there. And Hickey as well, he's just chilling in the backside. Like far up north, you have Hickey, solo player from Personal Courage, just hoping to see that next circle go up north. He's miles up, and it actually does shift north. Fortunately for Temporary Name, they can stay inside the compound for a little while longer, and they'll be able to hold off the entirety of the Eastern team that has to make that run on over. I believe it would be Swamp sitting out there right now, if I don't remember right. But you can see it here as well. I mean, Aurora, they need to get a knock either onto Misa or Eros. They need to apply some sort of pressure. They need to get some damage in and force them down to heal if they want to have any chance of making it out of here alive. It's going to be such a hard push for them to make it. Now you can see Ghost on top of them. They're pushing it down in that direction, but they're completely visible to the Temporary Name team, and that's so unfortunate. They tried to make their way over, but as you can see, if you're hidden from one team, odds are you're visible to another. And actually Swarm, realizing that the Temporary Name team was focusing west, they utilized that to make the push on forward. And now Silas, he cannot really look over towards the west side anymore. They saw the smokes, they heard all the smokes thrown, and they know for a fact that there's a 4-man team making their way up on towards their compound. They just have to figure out how to focus this, because Ghost, they can still apply pressure. You can see them shooting in, and we still have players from Temporary Name forced to focus on him. Oh, Treelith taken down. Not only the not only the shots coming, but the nade coming from the other side. And that's 10 kills already for Ghost Legion. Such a good effort put on from them. Aurora does go down. Levent does get finished off by the circle in the end of things, and it started closing on in. And now the push comes in here. Temporary Name under a lot of fire, and Goldby now the only player remaining for his team. How do you play this one, Goldby? Completely shifted away from Ghost Legion. Go out in 5th, but 10 kills to the name of to the list of for the team right there. Really, really good performance, that despite they went out in 10th place, they still managed to get kills with. And what is it with Nemerith and Yannick and getting crates? Last time it was them sitting in a shack and the nade landed, the crate landed right on the shack there. Now they get one right on the front door, delivered by UPS straight to your door. That is that's pretty fortunate, pretty darn fortunate. Nemerith gets himself an AWM off of it and says, "Oh, thank you. I'll take the arm and the level 3 gear. That's pretty useful." For those of you guys who don't know, with the recent upgrades to the bolt action snipers, if you have a level 2 vest now and you get shot once in the chest, you die. That's how good the AWM is now. So if you get that green beast, you better pick it up and shoot with it. That's pretty much a requirement at this point. Aaliyah trying to crawl into safety. That nade was smoke was thrown a bit too late. Misa trying to get the finishing touches in, and Broken is going for the rest. This is a dangerous play. And if you're Temporary Name and you know they're down here, you saw the knock come in, you might just want to throw a couple of nades. And just as I say that, Yannick does exactly that. That could be a double coming in. At least he gets the knock onto Aaliyah once again. The rest came in, but the nade came in right immediately after. Silas now in a position to be the one to throw it, and Dees is actually around this side. Dees is around this side, has the angle potentially in an angle, but the smoke is thrown behind as well. Silas gets the finish onto Tuck, and now Broken and Aaliyah, they need to make a run on up, and Dees actually goes down. What a hell of a return fire coming in from them out there, but Nate is going to be on the money. Broken could be down, and he is. Silas, great nades thrown, and Dees goes down in return there as well. So one casualty taken. Nimmerwith went down as well, so that's the AWM out of the hands of Temporary Name, and somehow, despite them having the compound, despite them having all of the cover, they still lose 2 players in all of this. They didn't have to aggress, but they knew that if we don't deal with Swarm early on, they could become an issue later on in the game, because once we have to leave, they'll be sitting down on the edge there, or the ledge down towards the road, and that could be them just completely containing us inside the compound. So they went a bit aggressive, maybe a bit over aggressive, and they lost 2 players as they tried to deal with Swarm. So great plays coming in from all the teams so far. Now we're down to a 3v2 or 2v2v1. Hickey somehow, I mean, all the teams were fighting south. Every single team were fighting down south. And, well, for Higgy, he's just chilling. Not in a hurry whatsoever. Wizards, they made their way in once again to the top. I believe they got 4th place last game. They got actually 3rd place, I believe, last game. And, well, now they're sitting in a top 3 situation. So great place. Silas and Temp Name, they got themselves a 2nd place last game. And, of course, they want to get the win here with 2 guys alive. But they're splitting up. Yannick is holding the top. Silas is down on this side. They know Misa was down in this area. But who will get the surprise on towards who? So carefully played here. Does he spot ahead? Doesn't seem so. The nade is cooked. That must be a sound cue heard for Silas. Looks up, sees where the nade comes from. Great play from Silas there. He saw the trajectory, he saw the nade in the air, and can now kind of pinpoint off of that. Whereas if he cooks this nade, that should be Silas pushing in. He knows he has a nade in hand. He has the timing to get him down, and he spots him out and takes him down too. Watch out, Silas. There's a nade. There's a nade. There's a nade. You can see he doesn't want to push it. Bada bing, bada boom. Misa goes down on great concentration, great focus, and patience by Silas to get the knock and the finish off on towards Misa. They're really, really well done by him. 2v1v1. Higgy and Eros, they need to somehow team up against Yannick and Silas if they want to get this one. What can they do? Higgy has not seen Eros, and Eros is just on the right side. Eros, there you go, spots him out. Shots fired, shots are connected as well, and that's going to be personal courage out. Silas gets the third party, and that's going to be an easy one for him.